how much concern executives should have about copyright, IP leaks, or other issues like we are talking laws and regulations also. Those are the areas we have not been fully explored yet.
That's still an emerging field because saying that code came from somewhere with a specific you have to really like there are different legal bars to prove different levels of infringement. The most the simplest case of a of a policy issue can be that the AI says use this library and you use that library as part of completing your code, but then that library is not something whose license meets the requirements of the product you're building, right? Or introduces a type of variability that is not legally vetted. So it makes it through code review because they're reviewing the code. It's like, oh yeah, this code works okay. It's well structured. It cleans up after itself. It releases resources, does all those things. Like that's fine. But what's happened is now you've gotten an open source license introduced into your system that has not made it through legal review. So if you already have systems with managing open source dependencies, etc., then some of that can be blocked. So if you're a mature coding organization, some of these things will be prevented anyway. Also, if you have a competent provider of coding assistants that are making a reasonable claim that look, we're not going to train on your code, we're training on open source, but giving you the benefit of that kind of learning, or training on Stack Overflow and giving you the benefit of that learning, then that's fine. It's well understood. You trust them, and that's okay. But I think the biggest issue is going to be this sort of if you're not a fully software mature organization, this type of license infringement or license um, sort of this license issue, this open source license issue, like you're only gonna, like, let's say you're only standardizing an Apache 2 license, but something has a BSD license, right? Like now that's like how big of a problem is that? Hidden bugs is definitely an issue. It could be something very subtle that gets introduced that is like an obscure bug, and you know you don't check it. Security vulnerabilities as well, because if there are five different options you have to set, and you get suggested the wrong one and don't find out what the other ones are, then that could be a problem. So one based on this, actually, one area where coding assistance can be really really useful is in actually generating test cases. So write your code as you would normally write your code. Where companies usually do not invest or classically underinvest is in doing test cases. So test cases is where it's not code you're shipping. It's not code that is going to have a security vulnerability because it's running internally. But the more thorough your testing, the better your regular written code can be. So if your testing and QA department are starting to adopt it, also if you're looking to kind of test out your APIs and you're hitting your REST endpoints harder and testing them for more kind of like a wider range of inputs, or a wider range of attacks, those are the types of things where coding assistants can really shine, and also not have that many issues with IP code leakage and other things.